Sometimes we're intimidated about prayer, and when we listen to other people pray, we feel inadequate in prayer, and it makes us not want to pray because we think we don't know how to pray. When I was growing up and been to some small country churches, or even in some of the bigger churches, the people prayed in King James English, right? They didn't pray in normal English. They prayed in King James. Made me feel a little bit inadequate. Sometimes you hear people pray and they sound like they're just kicking open the door to the throne room and they're blowing in there to the presence of God and they're just making all these claims, and we're like, man, I just don't have that kind of confidence to come before God. Maybe you hear them and they're just rattling off scripture after scripture after scripture after scripture, and you're just like, I don't even know one scripture. How can I pray? I don't know how scriptures to pray. Let me tell you something. You don't be intimidated by how you hear other people pray. Prayer isn't a matter of your words. Prayer is a matter of your heart. Prayer is a matter of the relationship between you and God. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 7, Jesus says, when you pray, don't use vain repetitions like the heathen do, because they think they're going to be heard for their many words. Don't think that repeating the right mantra, saying the right scriptures, or saying the right sentence is going to unlock God to hear your prayers. That's not why you're heard. Another place, Jesus says, unless you come to me like a little child, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven. Now, that passage isn't really talking about scripture, but the point is that Jesus would have us to be like children. I think God would rather have us approach him as unlearned children who are just there in faith, pouring out our hearts, than he would have us come as schooled theologians with all the Bible knowledge in the world. Listen, you just talk to God. I was in a prayer group one time, a group of men, and one man, when he prayed, he was very soft and his voice was very low. And he was praying one day, and sitting next to him was a man who couldn't hear, right? He even had hearing aids and couldn't hear. And after the prayer time was over, the man who couldn't hear looked at the man who prayed real softly, and he said, I didn't hear a word you said. And the man who was praying softly said, that's okay, because I wasn't talking to you. Listen, you think people don't like the way you pray, or people don't like the way you pray? So what? You're not talking to them. Get out there and pray today. Love you guys. God bless you. Bye.